Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Arrow Season 6. So we only have 2 episodes left of Arrow for this season, which is crazy to think about. Like, it only seems like yesterday that we had Adrian Chase blowing his brains out and in turn blowing up Lian Yu. Arrow over the past few episodes has definitely raised the hype for those watching leading into the finale. Personally, I have enjoyed most of this season more than others. Like, I've tried to defend this season as much as I could, but it is good to see and hear some Bebo damn positivity around this season. People were treating it like it was season 4 or something, and this season has been nowhere near that level of terrible quality and travesty. But in this video, we're going to be going over some stuff regarding the finale for this season, which includes the synopsis or description for the finale, which is otherwise entitled Life Sentence, as well as some stuff from a couple of interviews in regards to the events of the finale and the lead-ins and cliffhangers for Season 7. But of course, before we jump into the rest of that, be sure to let me know in the comments section down below throughout this video your differing thoughts and what you think of what we go over, the synopsis, the interviews, all of that. Just leave them all downstairs in the comments. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like and support and hype for the Arrow stuff. If you're enjoying Arrow this season, drop a like to show support. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. But here is a synopsis for the finale. With a new ally on his team, Oliver engages Diaz in an epic final battle. So yeah, short synopsis. No surprise. It's the usual when we come over, when we do the finale synopsises and descriptions. I think my Flash finale teaser or synopsis video would have gone out a couple of hours before this, and it's basically the same thing. Like, it's one sentence, really basic, and just gives you an outline of what you would expect to be in the finale. So yeah, nothing surprising here. But I guess in regards to this synopsis, with a new ally on his team, who is this new ally? Now, Katie Lotz, who plays Sarah Lance, will be in this episode. That's a press statement. That's not a spoiler from behind the scenes. They have said this multiple times. They released a press statement and all that. And I think it's just to raise, as I was saying, some more hype for the finale, that you have a fan favorite character of Sarah Lance coming back to Arrow for the finale. Now, throughout this episode, we know that she was only there for one day. Katie Lotz has even said that she was only there for 1 day of filming, so it's only really a cameo for the most part. So from what we should expect, maybe there's 1 or 2 scenes with Katie Lotz or Sarah Lance in the finale. So don't count on her being the new ally and her coming in to fight Diaz with Oliver. Don't expect that. So due to that, this new ally is most likely Black Siren, because as we've seen in the previous episode, Black Siren is completely turned against Diaz. So she's on the opposite side of Diaz, doesn't support him. So of course the next step for her is to team up with Team Arrow to help take him down. So that's the next logical and most obvious thing that's going to happen. Now, David Ramsey, who plays John Diggle, actually did an interview with comicbook.com. It was, I think, 2 weeks ago he did it, or maybe a week and a half. It's not from the past couple of days, but it still has stuff to do with the finale. And as I was saying earlier, it has to do with some lead-ins into Season 7 as well. So we'll go over that interview right now. We haven't fully discussed with the producers all the places we want to go for Season 7. A focus on family is certainly one of them. The William, Felicity, Oliver relationship. Now Lila's come back more involved as I'm involved with Argus. Roy has come back into the team. So clearly we're moving into a place where, even though we are wrapping up to the end of the season, where you're kind of isolating Oliver, that in the beginning of next season, obviously you'll start to see these very familiar family tightness, very personal relationships come to the forefront. Arrow's always been the one to kind of lift you up to put you down, and to put you down to lift you up, right? We are wrapping up for next season, which obviously, as you see, we're already preparing to bring these very familiar, very intimate relationships back into the forefront. Roy, William, Oliver, Felicity, my wife Lila. So we're wrapping up to that, and you can see it in the writing. Now, David Ramsey, in that interview, does bring up the return of Roy Harper into Arrow for next season, which could suggest that Roy is maybe the ally that's talked about in the synopsis, but that is much more unlikely than someone like Black Siren being the ally for Team Arrow. Also, they say new ally. Roy's been an ally for years. Even this season he came back, so it would be very misleading if that was the case in the synopsis. Also, the events to wrap up Season 6 or this season will most likely be the reason and the catalyst for Roy's return into Season 7. And we'll explain that in a second. Now, TV Line also supplied some extra information on the finale. The first being that Oliver will be sporting the same wardrobe that he wore in episode 5 of Season 1. Now, this could be this outfit on screen right now, which was what he was wearing when he was arrested. Now, I think he was arrested for murder in that episode, and my guess is that this is a flashback to a scene with him and Quinton, but something extra that we didn't see, so maybe just whether it was just, some off-cuts, entering a certain scene that we saw in Season 1, or after that, something along those lines. Or maybe it's just a coincidence and he's wearing the same clothes, but I don't know if they would do that. We will have to wait and see though. Stephen Amell also said that the lead-in and cliffhanger for Season 7 will involve a twist that is bigger than anything that they've ever done and is something that they can never undo. So, what is this? Well, this is where we get into spoiler territory, so click off if you don't really want to know spoilers leading into the finale and leading into Season 7. Please click off now. Now, we have gone over this before, so I'm not going to sit here and bore everyone with old information if you have heard this before. But to keep it simple, Oliver goes to prison at the end of the season. That will be the big cliffhanger for this season. We'll see Oliver going into a prison in Slabside Penitentiary. The doors or the bars close, and that's the end of the season. The reasoning behind that will be interesting to find out, seeing that we saw him acquitted last episode in episode 21. Now, we know in episode 22 that he makes a deal with the FBI, but then he is led away by the FBI in the finale and is put in jail. So Bebo knows what happens there that leads to him being imprisoned. They're gonna have to. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens there. Whether he's making a deal with the FBI in regards to him personally, or maybe say Wild Dog, Dinah Drake, Diggle, all of them. Maybe he's protecting those people. Now, late last year, I think it was, in early December maybe, it was going through the grapevine, it was very rumoured that Arrow was going to be adapting the Escape from Supermax storyline into its near future, whether it was Season 6 in the back half, or was in Season 7. Now, for those that don't know what Escape from Supermax is, around 10 years ago, when DC wanted to start up its own sort of cinematic universe, Green Arrow was one of the characters they actually wanted to use to launch the universe, and he was going to be I think he was actually going to be the first movie, and the movie was going to be called Green Arrow Escape from Supermax. So the movie basically, to keep it simple, Oliver Queen goes to prison. I think he's found to be charged with murder, I think it was. I can't really remember the specifics of it, but he goes to this prison. It wasn't known what prison it was, I think, but I think one of the rumored prisons I actually wanted to use was Slabside, which is the prison that Oliver goes to at the end of Season 6. But essentially, he has to work with villains in there to get himself out of prison, essentially. But in that movie, there was going to be cameos from the Joker, Lex Luthor, but he was mainly going to be working with villains like, I think Icicle was one of them, I think Pied Piper was someone that he was going to be working with as well. So there's going to be different villains like that he was going to work with and escape from jail. So essentially, it looks like that's what they're doing going into Season 7, especially because he's going to Slabside, which is a major reference to the rumoured prison that was going to be in that movie. Now, if he goes in there, I'm interested to see if there are any villains that we're familiar with. That would be pretty cool, and I'm hoping that's what they do. It doesn't necessarily have to be the villains that we've seen on Arrow. It could even be villains from Flash as well. That would be pretty awesome. Come on, admit it'd be pretty awesome if you saw Oliver having to work with these villains to escape, to do what he needs to do. And this could be how Roy Harper is actually brought into the show. So it's Roy Harper and Oliver Queen on the run, because as soon as Oliver Queen escapes from jail, he's an escaped convict, He's going to be on the most wanted. So he's going to have to work with other people, which would have to be Roy, and not be connected to anyone that's in Star City, because Roy's already sort of outside Star City in a bit of a, incognito, if you want to call it. Roy's the perfect person for Oliver to be working with. And this leads into another thing for Season 7, and that is that Ricardo Diaz could possibly survive Season 6. Now, I know the synopsis does say an epic final battle with Diaz, but this could just be a fail for Oliver and he goes to prison and he doesn't win. Because last season Oliver didn't win, but there was no redemption for him not winning. Adrian Chase won, Oliver lost, but Oliver can't change that because Adrian's dead. But in this season, if Ricardo Diaz were to win, Oliver could change that in Season 7 from losing in Season 6, if that makes sense. Now, we have had the quadrant set up with Ricardo Diaz, so they could continue that into Season 7. I've already talked about how Cyrus Broderick is a part of the quadrant. The Casamento family is a part of the quadrant. Casamento is connected to Batman and Gotham, the crime families there, and Cyrus Broderick is connected to the Green Arrow comics in regards to the Ninth Circle and even the Underground Men as well. So that looks like what they're going to do next season, and maybe Oliver and Roy could be traveling around and taking different parts of the quadrant down before finally coming back to Star City and saving it. Also, if Ricardo Diaz was to survive, it could add more story for Black Siren, especially if Ricardo Diaz is actually the one to kill Quinton Lance. which will most likely happen. So yeah, if Ricardo Diaz, you get a win-win. Sorry, if Ricardo Diaz stays, you get a win-win with Oliver because he gets to redeem himself and actually finally beat the villain that sort of did beat him in season 6. And then you also get some stuff where Black Siren, where she can redeem the death of her quote-unquote father. One other mystery leading into the end of season 6 is also if Oliver Queen is actually fully revealed as the Green Arrow. So when he goes to prison, everyone knows that he's Green Arrow. That's another interesting thing that's gonna sort of have to be revealed, and I wonder if it will be revealed. Or if there's still going to be some doubt on whether he actually is the Green Arrow or not. But if it is like 100% proven that he is the Green Arrow, he admits it and goes to jail to possibly protect everyone around him, then maybe season 7 could be the last season of Arrow, and it all is about Oliver regaining the trust of Star City. And the end of season 7, the end of the series run, is Oliver being accepted back by Star City, and he's still the Green Arrow. It's just that like he's not seen as like an outlaw essentially. That would be pretty cool if that was the ending. But yeah. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on the video to show your support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on what I've gone over. I know there's a decent amount that I've gone through, but I sort of had to go through it just to make, you know, everything make sense, I guess. But yeah, just leave all of your opinions down there in the comment section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.